Well, hi. Today is Friday, May 9th, 2025. I'm Todd Studer, and this is Morning Coffee. Had a great time last night at the Council Bluffs Farmers Market. Big thank you to Dave Lawrence from Sail On and Fly High for coming out and talking with us. If you happen to watch that live Facebook that we did last night, well, I'm not sure what happened. About 11 and a half minutes into it, the screen grayed out, and I had this thing saying, do you want to activate hand gestures? Well, no, I didn't. So I reached up and I touched it, and apparently somehow I muted the microphones. So there was no audio after that, but Dave had some wonderful information to share, and the mental health celebration is coming up next Thursday at the farmers market. So we hope that you come out and join us for that. Also, we hope that you join us tomorrow for the Celebrate CB parade that we are going to be doing a live webcast. I'll be there. Kyle Ranney from Tailslate Agency, he is handling all of the heavy lifting with this and making sure that everything works correctly. Big thank you to Sheila Jenkinson for coming over and co-hosting with me. Sheila has a wonderful podcast called Growing Small Town Nebraska, hugely popular, and she's going to come over and talk about all of the wonderful things going on in Council Bluffs and also the all of the wonderful entries that we have in the parade. Huge thank you to AirServe Heating and Air Conditioning and Waldstein Plumbing for being our title sponsor of the parade. So we'll hear from Travis Waldstein as we get our webcast going. And also a big thank you to the rest of the sponsors, including the CB Captains, the local semi-pro soccer team. Yes, they are a sponsor on the parade, and they're going to be in the parade. We're going to get a chance to talk with one of the players and also talk with President Taylor Stanton during our pre-parade webcast that gets started at 10 tomorrow. So that is coming up. Other sponsors that are helping us out with the webcast include Grease Monkey of Council Bluffs. Did you know that Grease Monkey is entering into their 40th year in Council Bluffs? Yeah, Brad's been doing great work there for a long, long time. And that is that anniversary, I believe, is in December, is what he told me. So that's going to be 40 years. Wow. So, and again, thank you, Grease Monkey, for being such a wonderful supporter. American PCS is providing our internet feed. Without them, we can't get on. And so huge thank you to them. Also, thank you to the 712 Initiative for all of the hard work Lindsay Grote-Rogers and her team have put into making this parade happen. We hope to hear from Lindsay in the pre-parade show tomorrow. Other sponsors include Blake Hunter, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, also Service Master Restored by Schmader, the Unique Boutique Iowa in Neola. They are a proud sponsor of the Celebrate CB Parade webcast. Dillard Management, a wonderful and very, very effective social media manager. So get a hold of Amy if you have any needs in that area. Let's see, who else is sponsoring? Connections Area Agency on Aging, doing some tremendous work all around Southwest Iowa. Thank you to them. And to Keith Jones of Edward Jones. Keith not only is a huge supporter of Council Bluffs, he's also a fellow Hawkeye fan. All right. So thank you, Keith, for everything that it is that you do to support the community. So we have the pre-parade tomorrow at 10, and the parade starts at 10:30. We probably won't see any parade entries until closer to 10:40. We're setting up our booth that's going to be very close to where the memorial wall is on the east side of Bayless Park. We're going to be just to the north of that. So we'll have to wait for the parade to reach us. That's how it works. So that is all coming up tomorrow. I'd say around 10:40 or so, we probably see the first. And I know there's going to be a lot of places around town that's going to have the parade on as well. I've talked to restaurants. We've talked with assisted living places and things, and they're all excited. And I hope that you are too. If you are not going to be at the parade, of course, you can watch it this way. If you're going to be at the parade, you know you can still pull it up. You got a smartphone for a reason. And just find the Lus Hills Media and Podcasts either on the Facebook page or on YouTube, and you can watch it for a while, or you can just listen and get all of the background on the parade entries, because many people who go to the parade aren't sitting right next to the speakers where the announcers are at. So this is a way to be able to do that. So come out to the parade and also watch it later. It's going to exist longer than just right then. It will be saved, and you can go back and watch it as often as you like. And we encourage you to do that. I also was out at the Mile Away, Old Lincoln Highway in Council Bluffs yesterday for lunch, and I talked with Charles and Jessica, and they filled me in on something very exciting that's coming to the Mile Away. It's a new arcade called Glitch, and this is going to have some old school arcade items there. And you remember back, are you a child of the 80s like I am? Arcades were the thing. I mean, we were there, and you just there was even a hit song called Pac-Man Fever. And they're going to have pinball machines, old school video games. I understand Atari, Nintendo, that type of thing. So just going to be all kinds of great stuff. Soft opening coming up in about a week and a half. We're planning on being out there. And don't forget, at the last Saturday of May, they've got a Bazaar coming. Last I heard, over 40 vendors were going to be out there. So put that on your calendar too. We're going to wrap up this week honoring first responders with a visit with Gabe Barney. He's the Deputy Director for Pottawattamie County Emergency Management, and I had a chance to talk with him earlier this week. Thanks to the Masons for not only providing lunch for all the first responders on Tuesday, but also setting up these interviews and giving me an opportunity to meet some wonderful people that are doing some tremendous work here in and around Council Bluffs. So thank you, folks, for all that it is that you do. That interview with Gabe Barney coming up very, very shortly. GT Motors on Broadway in Council Bluffs has an ever-changing inventory to help get you in a quality used vehicle. Trucks, large and small SUVs, passenger cars, even sports cars. GT Motors can help. Check out their inventory at gtmotorscb.com. Also, stop by their lot at 21st and Broadway because vehicles are changing daily. They even provide on-site financing. That's GT Motors, 21st and Broadway in Council Bluffs.
Well, the way I do these things is I just kind of jump in.
No, for sure. It's only one way to do it.
Exactly. So as we sit here with a cup of coffee, and thanks to the Masonic Temple in Council Bluffs for giving us the space to be able to do this today. Gabe Barney, Deputy Director for Pottawattamie County Emergency Management. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, of course.
This is kind of an honor because what you guys do is, I think, incredibly valuable, and I think that there's a lot of folks that don't realize just how much is going on in that office, what you're doing for the county.
There's a lot. That's yeah, like you said, there's a lot more than what people think, and we're not doing the job to kind of get noticed, essentially.
Right, no, exactly.
You know? So we try to do a lot of the background work and stuff that people don't always think about. It's kind of our job to kind of bring up those questions for if there is something going on, making sure all those boxes are checked and helping out however we can.
Well, I think also that in an ideal world, you guys are kind of like referees that nobody notices you when everything's going well.
Yeah, that is the tricky part.
So that's the out of sight, out of mind thing. Nobody thinks about it, and then if something terrible happens, which we've had our share of it around this area.
Yeah, last year especially was it was a crazy year, and we're still going to be doing work for that for a few years after. So it's still an uphill battle with that, and hopefully this year, knock on wood, it'll go a little bit smoother so we can catch up on all that stuff. But yeah, last year was a tough one. We're seeing kind of picking up, and that's a whole different conversation for kind of how there's been more severe weather events over the years, and looking at stats and stuff, it's still ramping up, and severity of them are as well too.
Well, and that in itself that's a stat that you can track, but it really doesn't help you with your job because you still have a job to do. Mm-hmm. So if they're there, then that's when you guys step in. So the severity and the different things that are going on with that's somebody else's somebody else's project. You need to be there to help folks when they need it. What would you say that some of the things that you learned as you were going through this process, and especially with with the tornadoes that we had last year and the amount of damage, which Minden obviously got a ton of damage and a ton of attention, but there were other places too. There was a lot of places around the county that were hit that we didn't see on the news.
Mm-hmm. So as we're kind of going through that, and as you were saying, we don't have time necessarily to track those stats. Mm-hmm. Or we do. We track, we pay attention to them, but we had Minden happen, which is we were deployed out there with our mobile emergency operations center, working through that, helping them out as much as we can, getting resources set up, and then and that was declared as a federally declared disaster, so it met the certain threshold for the Stanford Act, and so that happens. The most recent one we had before that was COVID. And before that, I would say it was the 19 floods.
Yeah.
So we had that happen, presidentially declared disaster, and then we had a hail event and another tornado happened right after that. That was another federally declared disaster. Then we had the floods right after that. That was another federally declared disaster. So it was, somehow the stars aligned and they're mad at us for some reason. So all of it happened. There's 3, and we're the only, from the records that we saw, the only county in the state of Iowa that's ever had 3 concurrent federally declared disasters.
That will make you feel like, okay, I've earned my job.
Yeah, yeah.
At this point.
And that's kind of our joke in the office, is like, we know we're doing a good job because no one's asked for our jobs yet.
That's a really good point, because I'm sure that not just your time, but also your resources were really stretched to the limit with all of this that was happening.
Yeah, it was. We were even short-staffed kind of during the kickoff for all of it as well, too. So we're putting in, all the hours for it, and we're happy to do it, obviously. That's kind of where bread and butters go, and help with that stuff. We prepare for it. We try to get other people prepared for it when the bad stuff does happen. So that's where we make our living, is go out and doing that stuff, and that's what we're here for.
What about when the bad stuff doesn't happen? I mean, what takes up your day? What are some of the things you're working on when we don't have a disaster specifically to work on?
So there's the logistics stuff as part of it. We have a decent amount of resources available, like different disaster response trailers, some barricade stuff, state assets, generators, flood pumps, our mobile emergency operations unit that we got a couple years back. And so that takes up a little bit of logistical stuff, just fleet maintenance to a certain extent, administrative work. We go through county for administrative stuff. We have a staff of 5 right now, so it's the director, Doug Reed, myself, and then 3 other staff. We also help with planning training exercise. So we'll host different trainings at our office. There's so many plans that need to be approved each year for different jurisdictions, countywide stuff. And we're also trying to get up on something we launched actually yesterday. A full launch today, soft launch yesterday, was our daily operations briefing. We used to send it out to stakeholders. It's on our website now, so it'll update you on the whole county layout for what's happening, certain hazards that could be coming, or if there is a certain incident, you can see how we're responding to it. So there's also some technical stuff we're getting spun up on, and we pride ourselves to be kind of ahead of the game on that. So you always think, it's kind of always a hard question, because there's so many fires that pop up kind of throughout the week that you don't even think of, that end up taking up a lot of your time. So
what do you feel that was there a learning curve as a lot of the things that you trained for and put all of the policies in place as they happen? Do you feel that they were all-encompassing and you were able to use those and take care of things, or did you learn things as you went through, like 3 federal disasters all in a row, that, okay, we can now use these and we know that we can do better coming out the backside should worst case scenario this ever happen again?
Yeah, you're setting yourself up to fail if you don't learn from your mistakes. There was mistakes made, obviously, going through with any large, you wouldn't be able to do everything correct. And if you did say you do everything correct for any of those disasters, you're doing yourself a disservice, because you're not one to learn from yourself.
I would think, too, that there's no way to anticipate some things until it actually happens. So we had no idea this was going to happen.
And we try to, it was a validation for some of the things that we've been preparing for. People can get annoyed with us sometimes for saying, hey, make sure you're prepared for this. All these emails sending out, checking up on the forecast, doing all that. And then when it finally happened, we felt like we were prepared for it as much as we can be. So yeah, there's a saying that I almost put on my email signature. It's plans are nothing, but planning is everything. So it's kind of having those conversations, and we try to initiate those as much as possible. But the actual conversation that we have is more important than the products that we kind of put out from making those plans, or the training. The certifications are nice, but it's more of the experience you get while doing those things help you prepare for this stuff and respond to it.
Yeah, I think there's I listen to a lot of podcasts, a lot of business podcasts, entrepreneurial stuff, things like that. And one of them, I think, the quote was, a plan without action is a wish.
Yeah.
And that's when, it's one thing to have plans in place, but once you go into and actually have your hands on things, that's where the real learning happens. because as we just mentioned, there's no way to anticipate some of this stuff. It's just not possible. But I was also going to ask you, I've actually seen some meteorologists in town getting a little bit irritated with this because, being in the proximity to Omaha that we are, and there's that thing that people like to call Domaha, where, oh yeah, the weather's just going to split and go around us. I don't think that's true.
No, Omadome died last year.
Yeah, and I see it's like people are looking for clarification and confirmation as to what it is that they're already thinking. And yeah, if you're looking for that, you're going to find it. But we get hit. I've got hail damage on my car.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it still happens here, and I think we get hit just as much as anybody. So it's easy to fall into a sense of complacency, which is your job to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yep. Yeah, we have a big push. Alert Iowa is what it is. It's a state sponsored public alerting system, and so we try to push for people to sign up for that as much as possible. Kind of a big push for that. It's Severe Weather Awareness Week and Preparedness Month as well too. Put some videos on our Facebook. I put my hand in the video editing world. And
how did that go for you?
There's I think we made 5 30-second to 1-minute videos, but making a video took up my day. It was a lot for it.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts to it, and what I have found as I transitioned into doing video. When I first started doing podcasting, I didn't see the purpose of video. I thought, nobody's going to watch a video, they're just going to listen to it. I was wrong, and this is something that I have learned, so I had to go through, and fortunately for any question that I had with the video editing, somebody's already made a YouTube video about it.
Yeah.
So I could go and learn that direction, but that's the latest way of getting things out there. I mean, we live in, everybody's attached to social media, and everything is online now. And making that move to be able to reach out to people, I personally wonder how much longer are we going to have the traditional emergency alert system that goes out over traditional media, because everybody gets these alerts on their phones now. And is that still something that's necessary? I don't know, but I think that we are transitioning out of a certain technological period and moving into another one, and this online, and you guys have to be right there in the middle of that.
Yeah, and the tricky part is it's easy to do the mobile phone public alerting stuff because it's built out to do that, and that's one avenue of sending out, getting people informed about stuff. But you also have people who still have just landlines, or maybe not even that. Then you have to try and have a push for how do you reach these people,
right,
and how do you make them prepared still, or if there's a high population for Spanish speaking population here in Council Bluffs and the county and the region. So how do we reach them as well too? So it's it's always a puzzle trying to get that figured out and stuff. So I'm trying to push on all outlets. Like I said, doing phones is easy. Doing all the other stuff, trying to reach those people, that's a little bit more of an uphill battle to get that.
Well, as we're sitting here, we're in the at the Masonic Temple, and this organization really believes in first responders and everything that it is you guys do, and they're providing lunch for you today.
Yep.
That's just one aspect, I believe, of a community that does support itself and support the people that are in it and support the different organizations that are in it. I see that happen a lot, in the nonprofit world. I see that we have tremendous nonprofits in town that everybody supports, and that's one of the benefits, I believe, in living in where we do. Starting in Council Bluffs, spreading out throughout Pottawattamie County, and then even further across southwest Iowa. It's a real community feel, I think.
Yes. I can agree with that. And even we go back to the disasters last year, it wasn't an issue getting volunteers. I promise you that.
No, that's true, because I talked with the mayor of Minden. He said that everybody was there so quickly that they had to turn people away because you hadn't really had a chance to do any triage and understand, what's truly happening here and where can we best focus our efforts. People got there so quickly. And that's a wonderful problem to have, but at the same time, you hate to say not yet, but still, that's kind of where you were at in that particular situation.
Yeah, no, the amount of phone calls saying, "Hey, we're going to put you on a list. If we need you, we'll call you," type of thing, and that was a long list.
Yeah.
So it was, like I said, it's a good problem to have, but the people we did have there, they worked their tails off and it worked out great.
Yeah, and everything went very well. So, what are you focused on now? What is it taking up your days as of today? Because we haven't had anything horrible happen, for just a little bit here. So, what is it that you're getting ready for? I mean, is it further planning? Is it further putting things in place?
Yeah, still a little bit planning, trying to modernize the agency a little bit. This kind of push for the daily operations brief, adjusting our website and everything, getting that spun up, taking up a little bit of time. A new staff member, getting him trained up and stuff as well too, because we kind of forget about all the aspects that, or even all the different tools we utilize. So getting them trained up on all that stuff is takes up a decent amount of time as well. And just putting out any fires that come up. There's still severe weather that happens.
Yeah.
Even this is a good stretch right now. We're looking good for another week. So it's now it's reflection time. Even comparing last year to now and say, hey, what can we change? What needs to be different? What type of training do we need to start pushing out there? How do we want to grow from it? So it's kind of after action review, reflect time, and try to improve. So reviewing our plans, policies, all that.
Well, and still, it's over the next 10 days or so, and you look at the forecast, 70s this week, 80s next week, plenty of sunshine. But we also know that can change.
Yeah.
I've seen it plenty of times. We got. It's just everything's going to be wonderful, and then storms are coming tomorrow.
Yeah, it's pretty quick.
And it can pop up pretty fast.
And it also seems like days where it's nice out, that's when we get a response for hazmat stuff, or it may be a barricaded subject or something like that we'll go out to. So it seems like people like to do that stuff on the nice days when storms aren't happening.
Well, I'm very grateful, Gabe, that you gave me a little bit of time here today to talk to folks, and this is just another way of reaching people, and we've got a pretty good viewership / listenership throughout the county. So grateful that you took some time.
Of course.
And anything that I can do from my end, as I said, the answer is yes. So just reach out, and we'll push whatever information we can out for you.
Awesome. No, I appreciate it. Let me chat for a little bit.
Thank you to all of the first responders that we talked to this week, and we're very grateful that you have chosen such an important career path, and all of the hard work and important work that you do here in Council Bluffs and in the surrounding area, and for across the county. Thank you so much for being there and helping keep everyone safe. And again, thank you to everyone that we talked to on this show and also on the Local Roots show, along with Gabe today. Over on Local Roots, we talked with Kelly Irwin. She is a longtime volunteer with the Underwood Fire Department. Jamie Watts, a 911 telecommunicator for many different services. She dispatches for a lot. And we also talked with Fire Chief Justin James and Assistant Fire Chief Rich Roderwald. All of those folks were on our shows this week. So again, thank you very much. Since 1870, Avila Bank has been providing Iowans with high-quality financial products and services to fit their needs. Whether you need a loan, would like to start a new business account, need to save money for a trip, or maybe just looking to open a personal checking account, Avila's qualified bankers can help you with all of that and more. Visit avila.bank to learn more. And technology should work for you, not against you. At ThinkSpace IT, they provide expert IT solutions to keep your business running smoothly and securely. From cybersecurity and cloud services to network management and tech support, they simplify IT so you can focus on what matters most. Stay protected, stay connected, stay ahead. Visit ThinkSpaceIT.com. 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. It is the pre-parade show of the Celebrate CB parade webcast, and then we will be bringing you the parade that starts at 10:30, and you'll be seeing parade entries as they reach us as we are towards the north end of Bayless Park. So again, thank you so much for all the sponsors. Thank you ahead of time for watching. My name's Todd Studer. I hope you have a wonderful weekend.